Julia. Tomb Raider is hands down my favorite video game franchise of all time. I'm going to show you Lara Croft's totally revamped new look and how you can recreate it yourself. So let's get started with the makeup. Now Lara looks really natural and she doesn't look like a Barbie doll like she used to look in the previous game, so I'm going for a really light and natural look. So the main thing I did is just applied a skin tone color underneath my brows, and then I went in with a very neutral brown tone eyeshadow just to give my eyes a little bit of definition. So this isn't really anything crazy or dramatic because her look has changed a lot from the previous games. I'm putting some of that brown eyeshadow also on the bottom of my eyelids. And then I just went ahead and defined my brows. Now I didn't again want her to look like she's wearing really defined makeup, so I really just used a little bit of brow powder just to sculpt my brows, but nothing too extreme or dramatic. I wanted her to look still very natural, so I used a brow gel just to brush up my brows so they didn't look too perfect. Then I just applied some waterproof mascara to the top and the bottom eyelashes. And that's pretty much it for the eye look. Like I said, it's really simple, very natural. She is a fighter. She is not a model or Barbie doll. So for the rest of the face, I'm going to use a little bit of a darker face powder just to contour. I'm going to be adding a lot of texture and, edges and stuff like that to her look later, but I just wanted to get a little bit of contouring going there using a darker powder, almost like a contouring product. And I just went around the outer parts of my face and underneath my cheekbones. And I also applied a little bit of blush because in the intro sequence it looks like she is wearing like a very creamy tone there, like a light pink blush, just to kind of give that youthful glow, because in the game she is supposed to be a lot younger. For the lips, again, nothing crazy, no bright lipstick or anything. I'm just using a very neutral colored lipstick. This one's by L'Oreal, and I just dabbed it on and kind of, spread it with my fingers and just dabbing my lips. Now her hair is quite different. She doesn't have the braid anymore, but her hair also doesn't look perfect. So here I'm using a texturizing product just to muss up my hair to make it look like I've just been fighting, I've just been going through the mud, all that. I combed the front sections of my hair forward because she does have some textured bangs in the front, so I left those out and the rest just goes back into a ponytail. So she doesn't have the braid anymore, like I said, which is quite different. I personally love it, but a lot of people did like the braid. But you just don't want this hair to look perfect. Just want it to look really tousled, roughed up, edgy. And then I just went and put the front sections, I put a little bit more of that product in, that wax, and just kind of fluffed them up and pulled them into place. And then I did the same thing with my ponytail, just added a little bit of texture again. And then there you go, you have the finished Lara Croft hairstyle. Now let's move on to the rest of the costume. So she is wearing two tank tops in this game. So one of them is a white tank top, and then she's wearing this grayish, bluish gray tank top. I couldn't find the exact color, but what I did is I wanted to dirty it up, so I actually used some planter soil. You could just get some dirt from outside, but this is personally I found a little bit more hygienic than just using dirt from the ground. So I used a little bit of planter soil with a little bit of water, just mix that together and then rub that all over the t-shirts. The white one she wears underneath, so you'll only have to dirty that up at the top and at the bottom where you will see it kind of peeking through. But the bluish gray one that she wears, you really want that to look quite dirty and just gross and sweaty and look like she's just been crawling around on the dirt, because that's really how she is. So Lara actually has a couple wounds on her body that I'm going to recreate. She has a cut on her upper arm, and so I used a bandage and just bandaged my arm up as if I was, bandaging my own arm. And then I used some fake blood by Kryolan and dabbed that on just so it looks like, it's been bleeding through, and it's really like a deep cut. She also has a cut on the side of her body where she actually gets pierced with, I don't know, some kind of a metal thing. So you'll see that in the intro sequence. And I did the same thing. I just wet the t-shirt a little bit so that the blood will spread better, and then I just really dabbed on a ton of that fake blood and also let it kind of dribble down onto the white t-shirt, just because you couldn't really see it on this really dark color that I have on with the tank top. So I'm just using a little bit of the blood, dribbling it down, and then where the wound is supposed to be, I just added a lot more of that fake blood. It's kind of a thicker blood, so it looks quite realistic. And then I did the same thing actually on my arm. I wanted it to look quite realistic. So again, I'm using some of the blood, mixing it with just a little bit of water so it was a bit more runny, and then just letting that run down my arm. So then it's time to get grubby. She is quite dirty in this game. She looks very realistic, like someone who's actually been fighting and, you know, running through the mud and all that. So I used some of the soil again with the water and just seriously smeared that all over myself. You could use cocoa powder also if you don't want to use actual soil, but I think that just makes it look more realistic. I just smeared that all over myself, also kind of, you know, into my hair and stuff. And I also wanted to get some blood splatters going because she does have a few fight sequences where she kills people and blood gets splattered on her. So I did this in my bathtub just because the stuff gets everywhere, so just be careful. I splattered that just using my hands all over my face and just on the top part of my body. So that's what that should look like. Now Lara's also wearing a really cute necklace, so I made that out of a leather strap and a bead that I picked out. It's green. And for the rest of her look, I just really kind of went with different pieces. So the pants, she's wearing cargo pants. I got those from H&M. They're actually men's, but I mean, it doesn't matter. And also combat boots are really important. She actually wears brown ones, but I just already had these black ones, so that's what I went with. She's got a bandage on the upper part of her leg, so I used that again, dirtied it up using some charcoal. And she's also got a gun holster, so I picked that up from an army surplus store, and I borrowed a friend's little antique revolver, but you can get like a bigger, more realistic looking replica gun, maybe at a toy store or something. I used belts to harness everything in place, and then I also made the bow, which is like her new main weapon. I made this myself. I just went into the forest, picked out a few reeds, tied them together, and I also made the arrow myself, just, you know, sharpening the end. So that's the complete look. So thank you guys so much for watching my Lara Croft transformation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate if you guys left me a thumbs up and left a comment down below. I am gonna go home now and take a shower because I am freezing cold. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
I'm filming. Okay, go. Okay.
It's full of blood. Oh my goodness, this better be a good looking video. As if like she killed somebody. What does that look like?
Yeah, looks good.
Was gibt mir noch mal das vielleicht Kakaopulver?
I think it's pretty good. Du brauchst keinen Kakaopulver. Also.
Okay, kannst du hoch? You're just filming my boobs.